There's a lot more to candles than meets the eye. Before the Romans and the people of Han China invented them, people relied on wicks floating in flammable, spillable oil. Candles weren't just used for illumination. They burnt at such a steady rate, people have even used them as clocks. Thanks to electricity, candles no longer have to illuminate our homes. They can simply brighten our evenings with atmospheric lighting. Believe it or not, this powder is wax. It was made by a rotating bar that sprays drops of hot wax into the air. As the drops fall, they cool to become solid wax particles. A machine called a core press vacuums the powder up and begins a multi-step process. It fills a series of small tube-shaped holes with the powder. Then hydraulic pistons compress the powder into short cylinders. These are then moved to the next station. The compressed wax cylinder will form the core of the candle and prevent the burning wick from touching the edges of the glass. First, it needs a wick and a sustainer. The metal sustainer is the wick's base. This machine shoots wicks into the sustainers, crimps them, and inserts the components into the candle core. The next operation places drops of glue in the bottom of glass containers before placing the candle cores inside. The glue holds the sustainers in place to prevent them from sliding around when hot. The device completes this phase of production at a rate of 4,500 candle cores every hour. For the next phase of production, liquefied wax pours into a mixing tank. A series of additives are then poured in. These include plasticizers to help solidify the wax and prevent crystallization, as well as UV light inhibitors to prevent the wax's color from fading. Next, dye is tipped into the container. An agitator begins the mixing process, which takes 30 minutes to ensure that everything is thoroughly combined. The wax is maintained at 85 degrees Celsius to keep it in its liquid state and help the additives dissolve into the mix. The liquid wax then travels through a tubing to a computerized filling station. A set of nozzles fill the jars with wax, completely covering the cores. Once filled, the jars move slowly through two separate cooling chambers. The candles undergo quality control testing for parameters like flame height and the temperature of the exterior of the container. This factory also makes tea light candles. The containers are made of aluminium alloy, pressed into a cup shape. These have a small panel at the bottom designed to direct the molten wax to the center. Moved by air, the containers fall into a sorter, which spins them into the upright position, and then onto a conveyor that offloads them to the next station. Tea lights also require sustainers and glue to hold the wick in place. The steel discs drop into a vibrating sorting device. A giant spool of wax thread feeds into the wicking machine, which cuts it, inserts it into the sustainer clip, and glues the assembly into a tea light container, all at the rate of 1,200 a minute. The containers with sustainers and wicks in place move to a circular buffering table, which feeds 3 channels to create rows. A multiple prong device then moves the containers onto the filling machine's conveyor system. The machine fills the containers in a 2-step process, filling them halfway, letting them cool, and then topping them up and cooling the completed product. The 2-step filling process ensures a consistent product at a faster manufacturing rate. The cooling chamber circulates air through the space at a specific temperature to cool the candles at a calibrated rate. From empty container to packaged tea light takes just 45 minutes. So, there's a lot more to that cozy candle glow than just wax and wicks. Right, time for me meditation. Om.